I have those court documents here. They state that Judge Stephen Hippler will be assigned the case. They also state that Kohberger will be moved from the Moscow prison to Ada County. The Ada County Sheriff's Office says they do not have a timeline for that transport. The trial date has been set for June of 2025, but that trial date may change as the venue changed. We'll update you with more information as we get it. Reporting live in Boise, I'm Savannah Hankard.
Well, Brian Kohberger was a criminology doctoral student at Washington State University, only 10 miles across the state line in Pullman at the time of those murders. As of right now, he will face the death penalty if convicted, but his lawyers are trying to take that off the table. Last week, the court released 13 motions. Kohberger's lawyers saying the state's intent is unconstitutional for several reasons. One motion focuses on what they call an ideological shift and evolving standards in how people view execution. Brian Kohberger is accused of stabbing these 4 friends to death in a Moscow home in November of 2022. Again, Kohberger is scheduled to go to trial in June. Well, big news for Boise State athletics, with the team announcing it's joining the Pac-12. My co-anchor, Scott McLendon, is live at Boise State to begin our team coverage today. What's going on, Scott?
That's right, Sophia. A huge day for Boise State, its fans, its alumni, its staff, everyone involved. The university announcing today that it's accepted formal invitation and been unanimously approved by the Pac-12 Conference. The Broncos will join the Pac-12 Conference effective July 1st of 2026. Now, approval of that full agreement is still subject to the Idaho State Board of Education, which is expected. But the sports will be for all 18 of Boise State athletics, and competition will begin in the 26-27 school year. Now, it's not only Boise State that'll be joining. It's Fresno State, San Diego State, and Colorado State as well. And officials here at the university are excited. In fact, Dr. Marlene Trump said this today. In part, our exciting trajectory and the prowess of our storied athletic programs make this the moment to advance to the Pac-12 Conference. And Director of Athletics Jeremiah Dickey saying in part that officials have, quote, evaluated the move from many angles and that they've decided to leave the Mountain West Conference because it puts Boise State in the best position for success. Now, this comes as 10 members of the Pac-12 left the conference earlier this year. USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington all departing for the Big Ten. Then Arizona State, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado leaving for the Big 12. And finally, Stanford and Cal departing for the ACC. So that left the 2 current members, Washington State and Oregon State, effectively the Pac-2. Well, they've now invited Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State, and Fresno State. Now, this is what the conference will look like in its form of 6. Now, the new conference is planning to invite at least 2 more teams to get to a level of 8, and that's what's needed to maintain the so-called Power 5 FBS status. Now, joining what was once considered a major Power 5 conference will eventually bring more revenue, more exposure, prestige, and rivalries. But it won't be on the cheap in the short term for Boise State. ESPN and CBS Sports reporting the Mountain West bylaws require departing schools to pay $18 million to leave the conference. There's also talk the Pac-12 may help with some of those fees, as the 2 remaining Pac-12 programs control $250 million in payouts from the NCAA basketball tournament and existing media rights contracts. The conference could also be subjected to more than $40 million in poaching fees. And Boise State and the new 3 will forfeit approximately $7 to $8 million a year from the Mountain West Conference. That's from the television revenue. But Athletic Director Jeremiah Dickey, he's confident that revenue stream can not only be replaced, but exceeded with a new to-be-negotiated television contract and some other forms of revenue streams, which includes the Pac-12 enterprises. Now, my colleague Andrew Vincent was with me today at the press conference. A monumental day, Andrew, here at Boise State University on the move to the Pac-12. Tell us a little bit more about the press conference.
100%, yeah. With this massive move, Boise State Athletic Director Jeremiah Dickey wanted to answer some questions about how this is going to impact the university and its student athletes.
To be included in something like this, I have so much hope and faith, and I'm bullish on who we are and what we can become. I have a vision, we have a vision, and I have teammates in front of me, behind you all, that are bought into this vision, that we have 18 sport programs, 350 plus student athletes, and our job is to do what's best for them and continue to invest in them and grow our overall brand as an athletic department. I don't want to just be known as a football program.
Well, this transition marks a major step for Boise State as it aims to expand its national profile beyond football and offer more exposure for all of its programs. Dickey did emphasize that joining the Pac-12 will provide greater visibility and new opportunities for student athletes to thrive both on and off the field. So, Scott, now that Boise State has a seat at the table, the only real next step is to add 2 more teams, at least 2 more teams, so they can be bowl eligible according to the NCAA.
And maintain that Power 5 status. That's with right. The conference to at least have 8. Thank you, Andrew. And a lot of folks are excited about this, as you can imagine. In fact, we talked to our News Talk KBOI radio. They're the flagship station for Boise State athletics. And the program director, Nate Shellman, joined us earlier today, and he was just talking about the magnitude of this decision. In fact, here's what he said this means for players, fans, and the new conference as a whole.
I think this is a great opportunity. I think this is what the fan base wants. I think the basketball and the football team have earned their way, playing as good as they have, performing as well as they have. This is what the fans want. Ultimately, it's a good thing. Right now, I'm going to say it benefits everybody involved. You still have the what was Pac-2, maintaining their Power 5 status. You also have the benefit to Boise State, where now instead of in a group of 5, now they're in a Power 5 conference. However, you still have to win your conference.
Now, we do want to add, what was amazing today is Jeremiah Dickey also saying how quickly this came together, saying in the last 48 hours, this all was crafted with other athletic directors and university presidents. In fact, he says this gives us, Boise State, an opportunity to create something that could be epic here. So it's quite a statement and it's quite a day here. The other part of this is you may want to keep in the future Idaho, Idaho State, what will happen to their future, because now spots are open in the Mountain West and the whole college football world is talking about the musical chairs of realignment, and you got to find a seat, and Boise State has found a seat in a major conference today. So we'll bring you more, of course, over the conversation over the next couple of days and the next couple of newscasts, but for now it's a huge day here at Boise State University and for the Pac-12. Sophia, back to you.
Thanks, Scott. Well, now it's time to share your thoughts. Do you support Boise State's move to the Pac-12? You can scan the QR code on your screen to vote right now, or you can head on over to our X profile at CBS2 Boise. For those of you already following us and that have voted, let's see here. 85.5% of you said you support the move, while 14.5% said you don't.
Boy, it's been a cool day in Treasure Valley. The temperature readings, courtesy of that low pressure center that generated all of the shower and thunderstorm activity for us yesterday, and even a few showers this morning. The cool air is trailing behind, and 64 degrees is as warm as it has gotten today. The average high for this time of the year is right around 82. So there's the satellite imagery, and you can see how the low is wrapping up, moving into the Continental Divide. And on the backside, we're still tapping into this nice cool air that's moving in out of the northwest. Now, there's dry air out there in Oregon and Washington, and that is headed our way. So tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day. We start out nice and crisp at 49 degrees in the morning. We'll end up a little bit warmer tomorrow with high temperatures approaching the mid-70s. Beautiful, blazing sunshine expected. And then we're going to be talking about the next storm that rolls in right after the weekend. That forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Sophia.
Thanks, Roland. Well, heavy rain is helping firefighting efforts across Idaho. 21 large fires continue to burn across our state, but the wet weather is bringing some welcomed relief. So evacuation orders are being lifted for areas near the lava fire, which is now merged with the boulder fire. Officials say both blazes will be referred to as the lava fire from now on, and people no longer need to leave evacuation zones 4, 5, and 6. Tamarack is back in action. So starting tomorrow, Tamarack Resort will resume operations and start welcoming back guests. The resort was closed due to heavy smoke and nearby wildfire activity. President Scott Turlington says the resort will continue to work with local authorities to keep an eye on that fire. Fire crews now keeping an eye on another threat. Crews working on the Wapiti fire sharing this diagram. As heavy rain soaks burn scars, it has the risk to cause flash flooding. They say neighbors near a burn scar should be prepared to hurry to higher ground away from streams as well as drainage. Well, coming up, a rescue you couldn't even imagine. How this penguin made it back home later in the newscast. And tourism is bouncing back in Nampa after the pandemic. Why officials think now is the time to put a proposed auditorium district back on the ballot.